Well, good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Alexander Mobbs. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. And during this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, I invite you all to please stand and join in singing the national anthem. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Corporal Walter Stanley Dawe. Walter Dawe was born on the 4th of May, 1889, the son of Richard and Elizabeth Dawe of Kadina on the York Peninsula. His father died when he was 3 and his mother when he was 5. It is not certain who raised Walter, although it was likely to have been one of his much older siblings. Walter grew up in Kadina and went on to work as a carpenter. He and his brothers took a great deal of interest in the local church, and Walter began to take on circuit preaching duties in connection with the Methodist Church at Port Neal, Smoky Bay, Tylam Bend, Meadows, and other districts of South Australia. Eventually, he undertook a course at the Methodist Training Home in the Adelaide suburb of Brighton and was accepted as a candidate for the ministry. He studied further at Prince Alfred College and in 1915 received his first appointment as probationary minister at Morgan on the Murray River. Walter Dawe did not spend long in Morgan, enlisting in the Australian Imperial Force in the same year. He underwent a period of training in Australia before leaving for active service with reinforcements to the 32nd Battalion in February 1916. Private Dawe was first sent to Egypt, where his health failed and he struggled with gastrointestinal complaints. He remained in hospital for some weeks after the bulk of the AIF left for France and was eventually sent to England to finish his recovery. While in England, Dawe took on the temporary rank of sergeant and worked in training battalions on Salisbury Plain. He did not reach the battlefields on the Western Front until August 1917, having reverted to corporal. In September, he took part in the Battle of Polygon Wood, a successful operation in which the battalion took all of its objectives. Dawe again took time away with illness and another training course before rejoining his battalion in the trenches near Warnerton, near the Belgian border. The 32nd Battalion Diary lists the 20th of February as a quiet day on both sides. A small note in the margin indicates that 5 other ranks became casualties. One of those men was Corporal Walter Stanley Dawe. No indication remains as to the manner of his death. Today, Corporal Walter Dawe is buried in Messine Ridge British Cemetery. With no parents to write an epitaph, his grave has none. He seems to have been quietly forgotten, not even mentioned in his brother's obituaries. Walter Stanley Dawe was 28 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Corporal Walter Stanley Dawe, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes this evening's last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.